So welcome back. Welcome back. Episode 5 of Griddyiron Gang, Installment 1, Riverside Edition. What we got for you today is pretty much wrapping up the preseason, talking about that. We're going to get to the NFL's top 100. The players do a list every year who they think the top 100 players are. I think it's always interesting to see what those guys think. After that, we're going to get to HBO's Hard Knocks. We're going to touch on that a little bit. One of the best reality shows out, probably the only reality show I can say that I watch confidently. After that, we're going to finish off with some trivia I got for you. 8 questions in respects of our quarterbacks, Lamar, Kirk, both wear number 8. Before we get to all that, though, I want to touch on some of this news, some of these injuries that's been going on around the league. First of all, I guess you would say breaking news. Jimmy Garoppolo, new deal with the 49ers to stay with the team this year. How do you feel about that?
Man, it's. I guess to me, it kind of signals, at least to me, that I don't think they have the utmost confidence in Trey just yet. I mean, at least what I saw the little bit of the Texans game last Thursday night, I just didn't think he looked ready. Granted, it's preseason. You don't got every starter in there. But from his throwing motion to, I think he was like 7-11 for 49 yards and a sack. I mean, if you're a number 3 overall pick, I think that's what he was at least or something like that, and at least a top 5 draft pick, as a quarterback. If you're not starting year 1, I think year 2 you should be able to go out there and definitely sling it and control your team, like lead your team as best you can, even if it is preseason. I mean, I would expect more than 49 yards. I'd expect at least, maybe 1 touchdown drive. But I mean, like, he's got a big arm. He can hit the big shots downfield. But I think, it's just he's going to be a guy for them that he's going to rely too much on his legs at first, which that team isn't going to succeed with that type of quarterback play. They get to the NFC Championship with Jimmy G, just,
Game manager,
exactly. And he knows the team. He leads the team well. And I think for them, I think they were asking too much for trade, like compensation.
Right.
I think they were looking for too much, and they weren't going to get it. So they kept holding on to him, and I think they ultimately got what they wanted, which was to restructure his contract, make him the highest paid backup. And in their eyes, they think, that they keep saying this is Trey's team now. But to me, it's, you get to week 4, week 5, and you're not getting the results you're looking for. You got an easy scapegoat to go back to Jimmy, and he's going to do what they do best. I mean, they're going to running back by committee. He can, get the ball in Debo's hands, get it to Kittle, Ayuk. I just don't see, and I don't hear a lot of the teammates out there, pounding the table for Trey.
That's never a good sign.
And so when I don't hear that throughout all of training camp preseason, it's been pretty quiet over there. All we've heard about is the Jimmy situation. We're not hearing Trey this, Trey that. He's lighting it up in practice. He's lighting it up in preseason. Like, we're not getting any of that. So to me, like, Jimmy G is not an elite quarterback by any means, but he can go out there and lead a team to the playoffs, lead them to the Super Bowl, lead them to the NFC Championship. Like, he's proven that time and time again.
And you're feeling the opposite from Trey Lance? You think he'll keep him out of the playoffs?
I think I don't see him leading them to the playoffs. I think he's going to hold them. I mean, I'm not saying Trey Lance's career is done by any means. That it's far from it. But I think he's still 1 year off from being a guy who can go out there and be demanding of his teammates and lead them down the field consistently. And like Jimmy G, he might not have had the best numbers, but he's a field general. Like, he can, manage the game well. I mean, check it off to his running backs. You got Debo to get the ball in his hands all the time, short, middle, long. Ayuk, I think, is going to have a good season this year. He'll take another step forward. And, Kittle, if he doesn't have injuries, he's arguably the best tight end in the league, in my opinion. So, and that dude, I mean, that dude can do it all. He's probably the best, blocking tight end out there as well. And just the tenacity he plays with. But I just think with Trey, I'm not sold on him, and I think that they're not either. And I think they know that. And with Shanahan, I don't even think has his overall record coaching out there. I don't even think he's got a winning record, which is crazy to think about.
Is that true?
I think he's around, if not 500. I think he's maybe three games over 500 or something like that. I'd have to double check, but I think they put the stat up there, at least when we were playing him the other week. I think they showed his record, and it was shocking. It was like, because they've been successful, but you got to think about it. The first couple of years he was there, and Jimmy G just got there. It was kind of rough. I mean, I think he tore his ACL or something, and then they had to have backup in there, and so it wasn't all
that year.
Yeah. So, but with the whole Trey situation, it's just, I think on paper it looks phenomenal to them with him in there, but I think as we each week goes by, we're seeing more and more of, hey, we're realizing he's coming from that FCS level ball. And that's kind of what it was with, I mean, obviously Wentz had that great first year before he got injured, but then after that, you're kind of like, oh shit, like there's a big difference between FCS and Power 5 ball.
Huge difference.
So I think, and like I said, I mean, throwing motion it's very minute, but when I was watching the other night, I was just like, this is ugly. It's like a whole wind-up sidearm slinging motion, and it's just, I mean, you can see with him throwing the ball, you can see a lot of strip sacks, you can see a lot of batted down balls. Yeah. And it's not pretty to watch. And, I mean, he looks good running the ball. He does, because he's very athletic and fast. And he's got great size, obviously. It's just, I just don't think he has the mental aspect ready. Like, he's just not there. He's very, you're not hearing him when he's being interviewed, like, talking big game. He's very that hush-hush kind of let my play speak for itself, but that play isn't there yet.
I agree with you as far as the on-the-field stuff. I'm not too in tune with the off-the-field stuff. I mean, this has to affect his confidence, though, bringing Jimmy back.
Yeah, I think that's going to play. And I think what they're doing to both quarterbacks is not fair on each side. I mean, you're saying it's Trey's team, but then it's kind of that awkward situation. Like, this guy's been the starter all these years, and now you're telling me it's my team, but we're hanging on to this guy. He doesn't want to be here. He wants to be a quarterback one, which he deserves to be a quarterback one.
He does.
In his own right. So to keep him on the roster, you're forcing his hand. And I think if he doesn't end up starting for San Francisco and ends up accepting that complete backup role, you just took a huge hit to your career, like big time. Like, and your paycheck is terrible compared to what you were making.
Yeah, it sure is. But they have to give the team to Trey. All the compensation they gave up.
Right.
I don't really think it's on him to be. I mean, I don't think it's fair to label him a bust. I mean,
no,
he probably shouldn't have been
taken
that high in the first place.
No, exactly. I think it was all about he's got the attributes that you would pick as a top 5 quarterback. Mm-hmm. But you're right in the sense it was way too high. I mean, you got to really. I mean, when you look at the quarterback field that was in that draft, he was, probably deserved to be picked that high because of what was out there and, what the Niners were looking at getting. I mean, they wanted a quarterback. I think that in Shanahan's eyes, that's the type of quarterback, size, strength, arm strength, like that he wants in his offense to, run. I mean, look, Shanahan was pounding the table at one point to possibly trade for Kirk Cousins. He likes that type of quarterback.
Right.
So, and Jimmy's not even on Kirk's level.
No, he's not.
He's probably one of the best game managers out there that you can ask for. And I think he'd be the perfect fit for a team right now losing Russell Wilson and the Seahawks. Like that's what they need because they want to run the ball. You need to get the ball into DK's hands, Tyler Lockett's hands, but they don't have anything out there that's going to do that and make those receivers happy. Like those playmakers are going to be very down this year because they're not getting the production they believe they can make happen.
Pete Carroll said they have 2 starting quarterbacks. I mean, the
That's
old
just
saying goes, if you have 2 quarterbacks, you don't have any quarterbacks. But they did name Geno the starter. You think that's the right decision?
I mean, solely based on this last preseason game when Drew Lock was out there throwing 3 picks against backups. I mean, yeah, and I think Geno has it in his favor that he started a few games for them last year, so he knows those guys.
Right.
But I just think their O-line isn't going to help them any. I mean, you got their new running back Kenny Walker, I think he just had surgery for a hernia, which who knows when he'll be back. But then you got Rashad Penny, who's constantly banged up, just like Chris Carson was. So you don't got that you don't feel good about your running backs. Like you feel good about their talent, you just don't feel good about having them week to week. And then you got DK, you just paid all that money to. You got Tyler Lockett. That's a very, very good dynamic duo on the outside. But you got to have a quarterback who can get them the ball consistently. And even Geno, he might have deserved to win the starting job, but he's just not. He's not it, man. He's a good backup, but he doesn't. Both of them don't deserve to be starting. And then you got Noah Fant as your tight end, who's a very underrated tight end in my opinion.
They do have good weapons out there. If Geno can be average, they have a chance to be average as well.
Yeah, and I think the scariest part with Geno is I just think, from beginning of his career, what he went through in that draft process to not getting a fair shake and not working out in New York, his career is that would get in my head every week.
Like we said before, there's no good situation that ever came out of the Jets organization as it pertains to quarterbacks.
Exactly.
Sticking with our quarterback news, though, your boy, again, in the headlines. Baker named the starter in Carolina. Surprise that it became, or surprised that it was before the season started? Or did you think it was going to come later? I mean, obviously, Darnold did get hurt later after the news was announced, but I know you were big on Baker getting this job pretty soon. I was too. I just didn't think it would be this early.
No, I thought Baker would come away with it at some point during training camp and preseason because you don't trade for Baker a year after trading for Darnold and expect Baker to ride the bench. I mean, Baker's the overall better quarterback. Everyone knows it. He's got the better numbers in his career so far. I think with Baker, I'm not a big Baker fan, and I've been saying that on here, but I do believe you give Baker a new scenery and a fresh start in a different setting that he could be a top 15 quarterback. Because, I mean, you got DJ Moore, you got Christian McCaffrey, you got a brand new left tackle out there. I think today they just traded for Laviska Shenault.
Okay.
And so that's another weapon. They got Robbie Anderson. So, I mean, don't sleep on the Panthers, man. I think they're going to put up a fight in that division. They're not going to win the division, but they'll put up a fight, and they might be one of those sneaky teams that is just kind of nipping at your heels.
They'll for sure be one of those teams around 800. Tough for some of those higher win teams. Probably get a couple wins where you don't expect them to. They're a very talented team, and I like the defense. I mean, those guys are supposedly going to be healthy this year. That's what we hope for. So if they can do that, they're going to be a surprise team this year. I agree with you. That team has settled this quarterback debate. What do you think the decision is going to be in Pittsburgh?
Man, from what I've been seeing, I think they just need to say fuck it and name Kenny the starter.
Oh,
that
the young buck? Okay.
I think truly granted it's just preseason and I'm not seeing everything in training camp practices with the other quarterbacks, but I mean the ball placement this dude has so far with his receivers is off the charts. I mean, I did not expect this from Kenny. Like I was a big downer on Kenny in the draft. And he's looking the part. I mean, he might look goofy out there with his one sleeve and two gloves, but hey,
baby hands, it needs them.
He's shocking me, bro, and that's credit to him because I think, Pittsburgh, they obviously know what they're doing out there each year because, I mean, Mike Tomlin, one of the greatest coaches there is, and that front office isn't bad either. But I think you're at a point where you got to just say, hey, we're not probably Super Bowl contenders this year. We drafted this guy in the first round. He's looking very good in the preseason. Let's just give him the keys and let's make it his career start right now and see what he can do going forward. Because I think, you're not going to put Mason Rudolph in there. He's shown him how many years now what he's capable of.
Yep.
And then with Mitchell Trubisky, I just haven't heard or seen much this training camp preseason where it's like he's turning heads. I think Kenny's the one who's getting more talked about. And when you look at it that way, it's like, hey, and we've seen Mitchell Trubisky how many years now? I mean, granted, he was a backup in Buffalo last year, but he might have not got the fairest shake in Chicago, the situation he was in. But
for sure,
we know what he's kind of capable of. Like, we know he's probably a quarterback who's more of a game manager. And I think with Kenny, you're looking at a guy who can change the outcome of a game pretty quickly, especially if he's got the weapons.
This isn't the typical first-round pick team that a quarterback goes to. You have all the pieces in place. Maybe the O-line's a little questionable, but you know what the defense is over there in Pittsburgh. George Pickens, those receivers out there look like they're going to be phenomenal. Najee Harris is phenomenal. So, I mean, you can just go out there and be a game manager. Mike Tomlin's got you, dude.
Yeah.
Mike Tomlin's going to get you to 800 rolling out of bed.
And I think, with Tomlin, I'm not going to ever argue with his decisions because he's, like I said, a great coach, knows what he's doing. If he chooses to throw Trubisky out there, I'm not going to say anything because at the end of the day, he might just say, hey, 4 weeks in, all right, Kenny, it's your turn now. Mm-hmm. So I can't sit there and argue with that if that's his plan. Like, he wants to give Kenny a little bit more time to learn and get comfortable. But like you said, with the weapons, I mean, I think Pickens is going to be good, but I think he's still probably third or fourth in line for targets. You got Deontay, you got Claypool, and I think, honestly, that Pat Freiermuth is going to be a beast at tight end. I mean,
I fucking hate this team, man. They do it all the time.
I think that dude is going to be – he's been – not talked about enough, honestly. I mean, he's like, I think they said last year they called him Gronk 2.0. I'm not going to put him in the same category as Gronk, but he's got that type of size. He's got great hands. He gets open. But when you got Najee in the backfield and you got those type of weapons, I mean, it's you're a quarterback away from being like contenders year in and year out.
I mean, we probably just look at the name and be like, okay, this probably is a downgrade from Ben Roethlisberger, but he was absolutely terrible those past 2 years. So this is a for sure upgrade no matter who they go with. And given that Tomlin's going to keep him at 800, this is going to be a scary team for me to play this year.
Yeah, man. I just, like I said, I'm never going to question Mike Tomlin. He's proven himself. And he always, no matter what he gets dealt for players on defense, he always has them playing like hard, and that's a defense who is like always scary good because they can turn the ball over, they can flip the field. It's really, I mean, he's just got a great program out there.
There's no way I'm ending this segment on Pittsburgh, so I'm just gonna say the streak lives on. 23 preseason wins in a row for Baltimore. But to stick on Pittsburgh to get to this next segment, some of the injuries that's been going around. Do you know the news on TJ Watt yet? I saw he had a knee injury suffered in the last preseason game.
No, I think Deontay Johnson got hurt too, but I think I saw Tomlin say something like they just got nicked up, nothing like serious. So okay, I don't know the full extent on it all, but I wouldn't be too concerned. I mean, if it's not like breaking news on NFL Network today, I'm not worried about it.
Yeah, I understand that. From something not so serious to something very serious. I knew Texas had good barbecue, but I didn't know hamstrings fall off the fucking bone. Ty Smith. Along with that, he has a broken kneecap, I believe. That's a tough injury, man. He's been hit with injuries these past couple of seasons really hard. I don't know what the timeline is for that return, but shit, if that was me, I might be wanting to sit this whole season out and come back next season real strong because that sounds like a terrible injury.
Yeah. I think they said earliest was like end of December, which at that point your season's over, unless you make the playoffs.
Yeah, pretty much.
So I mean, and I think, and that's a huge blow to them because that dude's a monster. You know, blindside for Dak.
That's huge.
And I wasn't already too high on the Cowboys, and I think, look, I think it's crazy to think about, but we're still talking about Zeke as a top running back just based on the name. I think Tony Pollard is a better back than he is. And I think you're going to see what I've been hearing and reading is they're going to get Tony Pollard a lot more touches, and he's going to be playing a lot more in the slot. I mean, he did play wide receiver. He played wide receiver at Memphis, I think, and I didn't know that until a couple of days ago. Mm-hmm. But I mean, you got to get your playmakers out. I mean, they're hurting at receiver besides CD. Like James Washington going down. You don't know when Gallup's coming back. I mean, it's looking pretty bleak to start the season.
You got a rookie that's not panning out so far.
Yeah,
it's very bleak.
So and you're not. You're not. The Cowboys aren't even on the same level as the Eagles. So
now you're looking at. Now that Jimmy's back, San Fran's probably going to be a lock for the playoffs. I mean, we'll get to that later, maybe. Bucs offensive line. They've got hit with a couple of injuries too. Ryan Jensen and another couple of key injuries along the offensive line. I know Tom Brady was gone for a week and a half or so, came back to a shit show.
Yeah.
How do you feel that's going to affect this team going forward? I know historically Tom Brady has gotten rid of the ball pretty quickly.
Yeah.
So the offensive line, I mean, always rated high, but maybe they don't have the best talent on there. How do you feel it's going to affect this team?
I mean, I think it might hurt a little bit, but I don't think. I mean, we're still talking about Tampa Bay as possibly a Super Bowl participant, so
they have so many weapons, fam.
They got too many. I mean, look, dude. People aren't talking about Godwin enough. How fast he's come back to training camp after that ACL. Mm-hmm. If he's even, if he's starting week 1 but not like full speed yet, that's scary to think about because once he's full speed, and they got Julio, and they got Mike Evans, they got Tyler Johnson, they got. Even Kyle Rudolph is going to get a lot of red zone looks.
Scotty Miller, what do you want?
And people, obviously with the whole Leonard Fournette weight issue thing, he's still going to be a top 20 running back. So
I'm not concerned about that Fournette weight issue at all.
No, it's. But I'm not a big Fournette guy, but I think they don't got any other options really besides him.
No.
So, granted, who knows that those couple injuries across the O-line, they might hurt the run game a little bit, but you don't need to run the ball all that much with the Bucs. Like, be in shotgun, get the ball out quick, let the playmakers make plays.
That's a team that might not need to run the ball, but a team that might, because Joe Flacco's going to be their week 1 starter, the New York Jets. Zach Wilson's out for about a month and a half maybe, and then his left tackle, Mekhi Becton, will miss the whole season. This is probably going to knock my prediction down a couple wins for this team, but how do you think they feel over there? What do you think about this news coming out of New York right now?
Yeah, I think with Wilson going down, I think what's the timeline on him again?
It was 4 to 6 weeks, I think, when it happened. So
okay, so
3 to 5 now, or something like that.
Looking at more so maybe week 2 or 3 he comes back.
Maybe week 3 or 4 or so.
Okay, you're gonna start slow out of the gates, that's for sure. Which that hurts anyone's chances to go to the playoffs right away. So because you got to. Teams are looking when you start 2-0, 3-2-0, 2-1 or whatever right away, your chances are looking decent. But when you go 0-1, 0-2, then we're like, shit, we're playing catch up already, not looking good. So yeah, my prediction might be a little. I don't remember my exact record prediction for them, but I know that they're one of my sleeper teams.
Yeah.
And I think we're starting to feel a lot more like typical Jets.
Starting to look that way, unfortunately.
Which is sad because, they have a lot of fun pieces on that team. And when you're looking at
and what Breece Hall goes crazy. I mean,
yeah,
Joe
but
Flacco, I mean,
shoot,
Joe Flacco beats this week 1, bro. I'm telling you, this shit is not happening anymore. The season's off. Griddyiron Gang is off.
Hey,
it's over with, man.
Baltimore I think Baltimore beats them by at least 17 points.
We need to put like 40 to 20 on their ass or something.
Yeah, but I wouldn't even want to give up 20 to them, man.
I wouldn't either. You're right. That's a bad look. Sticking to New York, though, Kayvon Thibodeau also knee injury. Same kind of play T.J. Watt got hurt on. How do you feel about that? I don't know his timeline either. I don't think it's too serious, though.
Yeah, I wouldn't assume it to be too serious, but, they got... I think it's going to be fun to watch him, and I'm excited to watch Trayvon Walker, too, those two edge picks. The Giants are a team, man... nothing about them excites me, especially with Daniel Jones at quarterback. It's, I don't know what to expect from Barkley because, to start his career, we were so high on him. Then the injury bug started hitting him, and he just hasn't looked the same since he looked to start his career back in college. He just hasn't looked like himself. So that's but they do have a revamped O-line. So if he can put a good season together, I think, we're talking about, probably a 500 team, I guess. I mean,
what? The Giants? Is that what we're talking about?
Yeah,
I did zone out for a second, but
not like I won't say 8 wins is pushing it, but
I see six is okay. I mean, that's reasonable.
Yeah, I was ballparking like around 500, not like they're gonna hit 8-9 wins. But, like, the pushing to get there is more what I'm talking about. Daniel Jones, he can't go out there and beat teams on his own. And I think Kenny Golladay I don't like him at receiver. I just think he's average at best. I mean, Sterling Shepard's always hurt, but he's solid when he's in there. Darius Slayton might get traded. Who knows? Kadarius Toney, I like the prospects of Kadarius Toney. I think he's going to be a solid receiver at some point. But
those guys on paper look great, but on the field it just hasn't translated. Adding Saquon to that.
There's something about New York in general, bro.
Pollution in the air out there or something. I don't know what it's
just when you think about Giants and Jets, it's just like yuck.
Nothing good comes out of that conversation.
Nah.
Another injury. Matt Stafford. I mean, he's dealing with a little elbow and a little shoulder. How serious do you think this is going to be? Do you think it's going to knock them down in your playoff race, out of playoff contention at all? Do you think it's going to linger? Is it going to go away? What are your thoughts on this?
I definitely think it's going to linger because they've said, I think McVay said, it's something not normal for a quarterback. It's more of like something a pitcher deals with. But and to be held out of practices or on a pitch count for throwing it throughout training camp is kind of worrisome. I think it's going to linger. They're going to have to monitor him. I mean, granted, I think Matt Stafford's an Iron Man. Like, for sure, he's a tough son of a bitch. But so I don't worry about him missing any time. But the constant talk we're going to hear all season is throughout each week is him not practicing 1 or 2 days or him not throwing as much in practice. So it's going to be one of those annoying storylines constantly. But there's still a team to watch out for the Super Bowl.
I agree. Unless it does get drastically worse.
Yeah, if he needs surgery on it or something, then it's a whole different story. But
yes, indeed. There's a lot of question marks around the top teams in the NFC. So he just needs to stay afloat for the regular season, have a postseason run. And if you need to deal with it in the offseason, go ahead and do that.
Right. And I think they're definitely a team where right now you're thinking, hey, let's make another run at the Super Bowl. But they're another team just like the Vikings. If their quarterback goes down, it's season over.
Who's their backup? Still the same guy from Wofford?
Something like that. Yeah, I don't know exactly.
That black
They're
guy
they're paying too many superstars out there to have a good backup.
Oh, I know. I think they have 3 top 10 guys voted by not the NFL top 100. Maybe it was the NFL top 100. I think they gave them 3 guys.
I know you got AD, you got Ramsey, and you got Cup.
Yeah.
So that's that's crazy.
Can you argue that? I don't think you
can.
Especially not off last season.
No.
We're going to finish up these injuries. Trevor Penny, rookie offensive lineman, New Orleans, tore a ligament in his foot, out indefinitely. I really had this team as a sleeper team, honestly, especially with some of the news coming out of Dallas and San Francisco, Tampa Bay. Yep. This is a big hit to this team, I believe. Not sure the timeline. Obviously, indefinitely can mean whatever, but
yeah, I'm thinking he's out for the year. The
Chet Holmgren, torn ligament,
out
for the year joint.
And people, I mean, that injury kind of goes overlooked too, because they got a team with a lot of weapons on it, but their O-line is very shaky, and to lose their number 1 pick, their first round pick, is very, very big. I mean,
because where else is the weakness?
And he was the guy who was going to come in and bring the fucking attitude to that line.
Yeah, he was getting in fights every day.
Yeah, he got kicked out of what, 1 practice or thrown out of 3 or something like that?
It was a camp or a joint practice or whatever it was. Yeah, he was nasty.
Man.
The report said, I mean,
that's huge. When you can have an O lineman who brings that edge to that O line room, like, hey, that you get your boys fired up when you're like that.
Oh yeah, you make guys play that much harder for sure. If he can do it, why can't I do it? Type shit. You know what I'm saying?
Right. Yeah.
Or at least I'm gonna follow this dude. Like, he's a crazy motherfucker. I'm on his back. You feel me?
Yeah, and I still think though that they'll be a team to watch out for, because I mean, you're looking at Kamara now not really getting a suspension for whatever happened in Vegas, so that's huge right there. If Winston stays healthy, all he's got to do is get the ball to his playmakers. You got people are sleeping on Jarvis Landry being out there. You got Chris Olave. You got Michael Thomas, which everyone's talking about. Who knows what he's going to be like? But I mean, shoot, when a guy like that has a year like he did in 2019, man, he can ball. He can ball still.
Cut down on the turnovers. I mean, we obviously see the talent is there. Arm talent is there. Power is there. Accuracy is there. Maybe you get your vision checked, whatever it was. But
yeah,
you seem to be doing that last year. Stay on that same path. Dennis Allen, questionable as a head coach, but definitely different from Sean Payton. But we'll see what you got. I believe in Jameis still.
For sure.
We don't really have to discuss this. I just wanted to touch on it. Brian Robinson was shot, but he was released from the hospital, running back from Washington Commanders. So that's good news.
Yeah, I was scared when I got it on my phone, and I was like, Brian Robinson shot, and I was like, oh, shit, man. Tell me he did not get killed. Like, that would have been a tragedy to hear about, man. But you know what? It's like, you hear about these NFL players just running, or even any athlete just running into these terrible situations, and it's just, people are crazy out here, man. Like, you just don't know what's going to happen walking to your car at night. Like, it's...
That probably hits real close to home in Washington, too, being that it was an attempted robbery, and, you know, obviously, rest in peace, Sean Taylor, so...
And, you know, it's tough. It's tough for a guy like that, because he was bound and determined to win that running back 1 spot and take over for Antonio Gibson. So, you know, which is saying something, because Antonio Gibson was no slouch.
Yeah, he was a solid back.
So,
he's a solid back.
You know, and if that was, I mean, it's just like, hey, so hopefully he recovers soon and can make it back this season at some point. But yeah, terrible news.
Yeah, wishing their speedy recovery for sure.
Yeah.
Something I want to touch on that you wanted to touch on, actually. Let's get to it. The NFL Top 100 list.
Yeah, bro.
See, I had my Ravens shirt on. We only had 2 players on there this year, as well as the Minnesota Vikings. Given that, how do you feel that my kicker, Justin Tucker, 94, and your quarterback, Kirk Cousins, 99?
Man,
do you feel that's disrespect, or...
I do feel it was disrespect, but at the
Kirk's
same
too
time,
low.
Kirk's way too low. I mean, he's
But
well
is
within.
Justin Tucker better?
Nah, man, you can't.
Okay.
Put a kicker on. He's better in the sense that he's the best kicker, maybe of all time. Who knows? But
Just better at his position than Kirk is. But
exactly,
overall,
he's not out there.
player.
He's not out
Right.
there. He's not out there 80 plays a game. Like, to me, that's stupid. But this goes to show, like, just because you play in the NFL and these players are making these rankings, they don't know what exactly they're talking about, man. Like, I mean, they're out there playing, but they're not like watching like we are. Like, they watch film and everything. But how do you put a kicker? If he's 99, fine. Or if he's 100, fine. But to put him above playmakers, like, that's insane.
But everybody's going to be a playmaker on this list to a certain degree.
And Tucker is, but and it's a crucial position. But at the same time, man, like, what is his chances of getting hurt unless he gets ran
To
into?
not have him 99 or 100 is a surprise. Him and Juszczyk should have been right there hand in hand. But you want to put Tucker in the top 50? Go ahead. Best kicker I've ever seen. Won me a couple games. He's about to win me a Super Bowl.
No, but for real, I think what did you say that Kirk, should be in the 60s or something like that?
I don't think I said where I put him. Wherever they put Dak, Kirk should be right around that. And I think he was at 44 or something like that. Kirk should be top 50. 4,000 yards, 7 seasons of his last 8. I mean, but they see what we see though. At the same time, we see 3rd and 8, and he throws 3-yard outs out of bounds.
Man, I guess
we see
so.
check downs with no timeouts. We see no clutch factor. We see no fear at the end of the game. We see no. I mean, I saw on the top 100 he had a little more than I thought he did in him as far as a leader maybe and just a vocal kind of guy. But a lot of the guys around the league probably don't see too much of that. So the ranking is understandable for me.
Well, I mean,
to a certain extent, 99 is crazy. But he ain't that guy. He's a very good quarterback. He ain't that guy though.
Look at his stats, bro. Like, he's consistently
his stats are amazing.
He's consistently in the top 10, top 15 in stats, bro. Like, and then last year was probably his most clutch year of any. He got us down the field in the last 2 minutes, damn near every game to win the game.
A couple times you did. So
it's like, I mean, I'm just hoping and praying this year he's going to show us a different version. And I know every year it's the same story. Let's see a different Kirk. So I do believe that this year can be that year. But I can't say anything else besides we got to wait and see what happens.
I was also surprised Mac was at 85 above Kirk.
Yeah, I didn't like that at all.
But we had them right next to each other in our quarterback rankings, so maybe they see it a little different way.
Mac was a rookie quarterback.
With no weapons, really.
Yeah, but I mean, look at
he has playoffs.
1 year of stat. See, but okay, we're gonna go on that tangent. I mean, hey.
Well, they put OBJ at 90. I'm like, that motherfucker only played like 8 games, but these are just some of my questionable. Like, I agree with you. These are my questionables.
If OBJ doesn't get hurt, he probably wins Super Bowl MVP. He's probably higher on that list.
But given that he didn't.
I get where he's at, but I don't know. There was a lot of. I'd have to go and read the list because I only watched a few of the episodes. I watched a few of the episodes and then I kind of was keeping track of the list as it came out. So I'd have to get the list in front of me to see exactly what it's looking like as a finalized list. But I mean, hell, Josh Allen at 13 is crazy.
Low?
Yeah.
Let's get to the top 20 in a second here. I want to touch on Cordell Patterson staying right on brand, leaving the Vikings and becoming a top 100 player. Mr. Swiss Army knife out there in Atlanta. You love to see it. Dak at 44, we mentioned. Herbert at 40, I think that's way too low as well.
He should be around top 20.
I don't think there's that much difference between him and Josh Allen. I guess one of my bigger gripes with the list is number 1.
Tom Brady?
Tom Brady. How's Tom Brady number 1? For
He's the
you
GOAT.
and a couple
He's the
other
GOAT.
Vikings fans in my life, I don't want to
He's
hear
the GOAT.
I don't want to hear that he's the GOAT shit right now. For you and a couple other Vikings fans in my life, I try to present you with an argument that Devontae Adams has been the best receiver over the past few years. You guys tell me, well, Rodgers throws to him 80% of the time. But if you get all the targets and you're making the most of them, you're going to be the most productive. If I understand that Tom Brady led the league in touchdowns and yards, but he also led the league in attempts. So why can't I have the same argument? Well, the motherfucker threw the most. Of course he's going to have the most yards and touchdowns. Why can't I use the same argument? I can.
You can, bro. Like, you know, when I look back on that quarterback episode we did, I was a little harsh and just being a little dumb, you know, with being the Packer hater I am. I don't think Aaron Rodgers should be 4. Let's just get that cleared up. I mean, he's when I take the purple off and I'm just a fan of the NFL as a whole, that's a bad fucking motherfucker. Like,
for sure.
I'm scared to play him every week.
For sure.
But
I know it was the hater in you. You even said it.
When I think with these players making these top 100 rankings, they're going off of his GOAT status, and that's just it. He's the best all-time game manager right now in his career. He doesn't have a deep ball that's terrific. He's got very good players around him. I would rather have Rodgers. I would rather have Mahomes, and I'd rather have Josh Allen.
At this point, yeah, you have to say that he's 45.
So, and we're going off of top 100. They're making this list based off of last year, because this list comes out every year and it changes.
Yeah.
So, what did he do last year that was better than those quarterbacks?
Well, he had more yards and more touchdowns. That's
what I'm saying. Though, like you said, though, he had more attempts, though.
Right.
So what I'm saying is, look what they did in the overall scheme of things with a more balanced approach to the game. So, and what did they go? They went to the divisional game.
Yeah, right before the Super Bowl.
So, I mean, it's crazy what he's doing at 45 years old. And I think that's what we're basing everything off of these days. It's like, no one's ever done this at 45. It's impossible. So that's why we're considering him the greatest quarterback or the greatest player in the game right now, because he's doing the unthinkable. You can't tell me, name a player right now besides him in the league that will play until they're 45. I might consider saying Aaron Rodgers, but he's made it known he doesn't want to play that long.
Yeah, he doesn't got it in him to play that long. I would say maybe Russell Wilson, but I don't know if his body's going to hold up.
No,
I can't give you one. I can't give you one.
Well, probably I'm not going to say never, but at this point I could say probably never see this again for at least, I don't know how long. Granted, sports science is a lot better and all this shit, but to think about how brutal this game is and to play till 45, I mean, he's the greatest of all time.
That I don't dispute. You were mad at Josh Allen at 13. What do you think about his washed teammate, Diggs, at 26?
I've never said he's washed by any means, but I think he's peaked.
You said he peaked.
I think he's peaked.
That's for sure.
Definitely don't think he's washed by any means, but I will say I think we're going to have a bigger year from Diggs, because I think we're going to have a huge leap this year by Gabriel Davis. I think that dude's about to pop off.
Okay. Because of what you saw in the postseason, or because of what you're hearing in camp or seeing in the preseason?
A mixture of it all. And he's got awesome size. I mean, he's got great hands, good speed. I think, like Josh Allen said the other day, he's not a number 2 receiver. He's a great compliment to Diggs. And when you get a guy who makes that leap, and that's, we got to watch it still, but if he does make that leap like they're predicting, that's scary to have him and Diggs on the outside, bro.
You got anything else on this top 100 you want to touch on before we move off of it?
I think we're going to see Justin Jefferson in the top 5 next year.
You know what? If they put Cup at 4, I think Jefferson's going to go ahead and be the best receiver in the league this year. That's a safe bet.
So that's all I want to say. I mean, but I think what was he last year, like 53 or 56, and now he's 17. I mean, that's a good jump. That's a very, very big jump. But I don't know. It's funny when
5 is crazy,
bro. It's fun to watch these rankings come out because you know the players are making these rankings, and it's fun to see what they think in their eyes because during the season they don't have a voice. They really never have a voice because we always have the pundits, we always have the analysts talking what they think,
right?
And so when we have this 1 week, 2 weeks of the year where we get to see these rankings come out based on what the players think, I always think it's a fun thing to watch.
I like this list a lot. I try and watch all 100 videos when they come out. 101 actually. I do want to touch on. No, I did say I try to watch 101. I did skim through the list a couple times, and I did see a couple snubs in my opinion. AJ Terrell, DB out of Atlanta, and my guy Scary Terry out of Washington did not make the list. Wow. So
Yeah.
he stands as the most underrated player in the league in my eyes. It's unfortunate you have Carson Wentz as the guy you're trying to prove yourself with.
Yep.
But, man, that's bullshit to me. Excuse my language, kids. You want to touch on Hard Knocks? And then we'll get to this trivia and wrap up?
Yeah, let's do it. I don't have much to say about Hard Knocks. Just kind of want to talk about it just a little bit, a couple minutes. But
what you got for us?
I just think, I think August is like, I get so like amped up and like giddy almost during like end of July coming to August because I know we got training camp. We got football every single day, like
hell yeah,
inside training camp on NFL Network. And then you get to, when the preseason games start, I mean, they're not the funnest games ever to watch because I'd rather watch college football than I'd watch preseason games. But and I was thinking this the other day and I was going to text you. When I watch these preseason games, it's almost like it's really bad football.
It's terrible football. Yeah, it is.
It's terrible, and it's brutal to watch. And it's like, man, you think about how many players at all levels who play football and how much more fun some high school games are than preseason football. How much fun college games are than and we're talking about pros playing football, bro. Like,
yeah, I know.
How they can put that bad of a product out there, it's amazing to think about because there's such a drop-off from being a starter in the NFL to a freaking backup.
It's huge at every position, except maybe running back.
And it's just like, man, if I could be a goddamn punter in the NFL, like,
dude, I'd be chilling. Chilling.
Man, like, shoot. But it's just like, I watch these games and I'm like, man, I know you have to know a whole lot more when it comes to the NFL scheme of things compared to college, compared to high school, all that. There's so much more that goes into it. So I really feel like the mental aspect of it, if you don't have it, you're never going to make it. And when I watch these backups, it's just like they're all athletic as hell almost, but it's just you can't make the basic plays. You can't wrap up and tackle. You're messing up assignments. Like, I don't know. It just baffles me when you watch a regular season game compared to a preseason how bad it gets. It's almost like watching that USFL Arena League.
It ain't quite that. I know what you mean, though. A lot of these guys we have to take into consideration aren't going to make the team.
Yeah.
But the level of play is not what you want to see. And some teams carry it into the regular season because every time we watch a Giants game, a Jets game, it looks like preseason.
No, and that's how but when you watch, it's funny because I go on, social media, during the games, after the games, during preseason, and I'm, seeing all these comments from fans, and it's like, man, it's funny because, the average fan doesn't know much about the game.
Mm-hmm.
And so when they get overly bent out of shape about losing a preseason game, it's hilarious to me because it's like, oh my God, we're going to be terrible. Like, I'm done being a fan. Like, Well, no, it's just number one, we're not. Both sides of the ball aren't calling
They're just
the
calling
game
basic shit.
They're not. Yeah, they're calling base formation stuff, and they're not showing much. And that's how it should be. That's just like a Saturday morning scrimmage against 4 teams,
Right.
in high school. You know, we're running our top 10 plays that we have so far that are basic runs, basic passes, and that's it.
Yeah. 22
And-
dives, stretch, slants, bootleg, and we getting the fuck out of here.
Yeah, and all the preseason is for is to get those bottom guys a shot to get a chance at making the 53. And so all you want to do is not show much of the playbook on both sides. You don't want to get injured. You want to stay healthy.
Mm-hmm.
And that's why it comes down to being ugly football, because it's just you're not calling a double post and stop and goes and all that. You're not. It's just like, let's do a 10-yard out, get out of bounds, 5-yard slant, 22 dive. It's just the basics. It's just funny when I see these guys get bent out of shape. It's just like, chill out, bro. Once September 11th comes, you're gonna be singing a whole different tune. But getting back to Hard Knocks, the first 3 episodes out now?
Yep.
It's just giving me more of an insight to that whole new culture that Campbell's brought over there, and it's fun to watch. They've been such bottom feeders for the longest, and he's definitely got everyone in that team, whether it be fans, front office, players, believing that they can be something. And they do got playmakers over there, and I think Aiden Hutchinson, number 1, looks like a Terminator out there. Like, that dude's gonna be a monster.
He looks like a Terminator, honestly.
He's gonna be a monster, bro. Like. So and you know what? He just puts his head down and goes to work. He's one of those guys who's gonna go down, rush the quarterback, get a sack, back to the line, do it all over again. I mean, you got, and I think people are too low on DeAndre Swift. I think he's a very good running back.
Mm-hmm.
I think the biggest thing holding them back is the quarterback position right now, because honestly, their O-line is freaking solid.
O-line can hold their own. That's for sure.
And then T.J. Hawkinson, he's a very good tight end. You're going to have Jamison Williams at some point, which, hopefully you draft him at 12. Hopefully he can be the receiver you want him to be.
Mm-hmm.
I don't even know how to say his name. St. Brown.
Amon-Ra.
Yeah, Amon-Ra. But he's solid. And then you got DJ Chark, which I always keep forgetting about the guy. Like,
Yeah,
I forget that they signed him. So they have weapons. Their defense is solid. And you know what? That Rodrigo, man, he can play at linebacker.
I knew you'd like Rodrigo.
That
44,
man can
right?
play, bro. Yeah, that man
He's a
can
nice
play.
little player.
But, it's just fun to watch that show because you get all the interactions with the coaches. And, like we've been talking about Deuce Staley and Aaron Glenn going at it. Like,
Oh, that's hilarious.
Deuce losing his voice. Like, it's got to be one of the most fun shows to watch. And that hour you watch that show, it goes by too quick.
It does. Every time it goes by way too fast. I could watch that shit for 24 hours straight, honestly.
Yes, bro. I think, and that's why I'm looking forward to seeing the Cardinals in the in-season version, because I think the first week that airs is going to be the first week D-Hop's back.
Yeah, it is.
So that's gonna be fun to watch. I think and I think that's gonna be the first week they play us.
It is. That's probably bad news for them.
It's gonna be a
Hard
fun
Knocks
ride.
teams don't usually have too much success.
But man, HBO really does put out some good stuff. And I'm not even talking about Hard Knocks in general. It's just everything HBO puts out is A1.
Everything I've seen, I mean, I can't really complain with it so far. So I'd agree with that. But let's wrap up. Get to some of this trivia I got for you. Go ahead, take a sip of water. Get your mind right. Do what you need to do. So first question, this will be a timed question.
Okay.
Besides the Vikings head coach, O'Connell, name me 5 new head coaches in 15 seconds. Go.
for this year.
Yeah. Go.
Oh God, Lovie Smith. You got Mike McDaniel. I think that's his name.
Mm-hmm. 5 seconds.
God. I'm not gonna get it in 15 seconds, bro. I'm not good with names. Shoot.
Damn. I thought I was gonna start you off with the easy one right there.
When you timed it, though, you put me in this hot seat, and I couldn't come up with all 5.
That's the point. That was the point, though. I thought it was an easier question, so that's why I gave you the time.
How many? Okay, answer me this. Answer me this. I will answer the full thing, but how many new head coaches, were there this year?
I believe there were 9.
9. That's a lot, bro.
Possibly.
But yeah, you got Lovie
10.
Smith, you got Mike McDaniel, you got obviously O'Connell, but you said besides him, Nathaniel Hackett,
Yeah.
something Eberflus,
Matt Eberflus. Yeah.
Yeah, I don't know. I'd have to sit down
that's
and look.
that's 5. That's 5. We got.
But Dayball, shit.
Bowles. I mean, if you want to count Bowles. I mean, Dougie P. But yeah, you got it.
It's hard to think about those guys though when they've been a head coach already.
True. Think of them as an Eagles quarterback or coach or whatever.
Lovie Smith has been too, but he's been out of the NFL so long as a head coach. I consider him a new coach.
Speaking of Lovie, he took the Chicago Bears to the Super Bowl in what year?
2005? 2006?
Both wrong. It was 2007.
Oh, shit. I swear.
Now, it could be, I just saw 2007. It could be the 2006-2007 season. So you could be right by saying 2006, but I don't think that's what you meant.
It was somewhere around there. I was close.
07.
I think he might have took over as coach for the Bears in 2005. That's what I was thinking of.
Okay. I think that was 04. Is when he did that.
Okay.
It could have been 05, though. But it was right
mid 2000s. Shoot, it's all the same in my head right now.
Yeah, I know. All that shit matches together. Now, this is a multiple choice question for you. Dennis Allen, the new head coach of the New Orleans Saints, has a win percentage of what as a head coach? 22, 28, 33, or 37?
A win percentage?
Yep.
All right, go through them one more time.
22, 28, 33, 37. You want to use a lifeline? 50-50?
33?
No. You want to guess again?
22.
22, bro. I think.
Who's he coached for?
The Raiders. That's who
he was the head coach for the Raiders?
Yeah.
When the hell did he coach them?
Can't tell you the years, but I can tell you the record was terrible. 8-28 or something like that.
Was he coaching when Moss was there?
He probably was, if that's the case. That might be the common denominator.
Damn, I didn't even know he was a coach. Shame on me for being a fan and not knowing that. But hey, a lot of these guys, if I don't hear them in a long time, I'm not paying attention to them.
I mean, it's not our job. I'm not following coaches like that either. I'll follow the players as much as I can. 53 per team, that's a lot. So,
damn,
I'm not mad at you for that. Rocky start. It's okay, though. Another multiple choice question. Ryan Fitzpatrick, recently retired quarterback, has played for how many teams? 7, 8, 9, or 10?
I'm going to go with 9.
Ooh, ding, ding, ding. We got one.
Yeah, I wasn't going 10 because I was like, that's too many, but 9 was sounded about right. So,
how you feeling? You want to wrap it up, or you want to try these last 4 questions?
Yeah, we can do a little rapid fire real quick.
Over the last 9 years, 2 teams have 100-plus wins. Who are they?
Patriots.
Patriots are 1. The other team is also an AFC team.
Baltimore?
Not Pittsburgh. Not Baltimore, no.
Oh,
nope.
Man.
I'm gonna have to see if I can edit in some music right here or something. Some Jeopardy jokes.
What's the division?
West.
Oh shoot. God, the Chiefs?
Chiefs, bro.
I was almost gonna say the Broncos, but that was only because the Manning years. But
Those years that they weren't Manning years were awful.
we're bad. Yeah.
That's why I got Chiefs going number one this year. They've been good without Mahomes. They've been good without Tyreek.
And I think they're gonna have
Andy Reid did it in Philly with T.O. and McNabb, Westbrook.
Yeah.
So,
besides
Don't count
Belichick,
him out.
Andy Reid is like one of the GOATs for sure.
yeah, he's up there. I'd have to look at my list. Even without that Super Bowl ring, he did get a lot of teams in successful positions and really close to winning the big games. So,
Only thing
he'd
that
probably
worries
still
me
be
with
up
the
there.
Chiefs. Only thing that worries me with the Chiefs is the running back position. Honestly,
Rojo, we'll see what he can do over there. They got a
He
little
about to
running
get
back they
cut, bro.
drafted is going to be decent. Hey, man. USC backs, what can you do? Since 2010, there have been 4 number 1 overall draft picks that have not been quarterbacks. Can you name the 4? I'll give you one hint. One went this year.
Trayvon Walker. You got Myles Garrett. You got
Yeah.
Jadeveon Clowney.
Yeah.
And this last one, man, I don't know at all.
Offensive lineman. I believe he got drafted by the team we were just talking about.
Eric Fisher.
Eric Fisher. I don't know how you got that off those hints I gave you, but shout out to you. 7 running backs have eclipsed 2,000 yards in a single season. Who are they? I'll give you a hint.
AP.
One's AP.
Yeah, you got AP. You got Derrick Henry. You got Chris Johnson. You got Jamal Lewis, I think.
Jamal Lewis is in there.
Barry Sanders.
Barry's in there.
Terrell Davis.
TD's in there. You got 2 old school guys that are in there you missing.
Two old school guys. So I got AP. I got Derrick Henry, Chris Johnson. I got Barry
Jamal
Sanders.
Lewis.
Jamal Lewis. Terrell. So I got 6 right now, right? You said 7?
There's 8, actually. So you need 2 more.
Eric Dickerson.
Yep.
Oh, man, this last one. I want to...
He's not a Bronco, but he rides in one. You feel me?
O.J. Simpson.
OJ.
Oh, that's funny, bro. He probably did it in less games, too, knowing him.
I'd have to look at the stats. But, man, I'll get back to you on that. I don't know who would have done it in less games. Sheesh. AP played the whole season. He probably did it in the least amount of carries, AP. Him or Eric Dickerson probably.
He wasn't
getting that rock early like that.
Bro. I still haven't envisioned that last carry he had against the Packers that he just barely missed it, bro. I think he missed it by 3 or 4 yards or some shit, 7
The
maybe.
record, he was close. They were trying to get him that shit hard too. I was watching that shit.
And you know what? But the Packers knew what we were doing because we couldn't throw with Ponder.
9 in the box. Shit. Last question. Vikings trivia, then we'll get out of here. 7 times in Vikings history, a Minnesota receiver has gone for 100-plus catches. There are 5 different receivers who have gone 100-plus catches for the Vikings. Can you name the 5 receivers? 2 of them have done it twice.
Randy,
Yep.
Chris Carter.
Yep.
Man, who else?
100 plus catches in a season.
Is Anthony Carter on there?
Nope.
Damn. 100 plus catches. Shoot. Is there anyone in the past 10 years on there?
Oh, yeah. The last 3 are.
So you got JJ on there?
Yep.
Is Diggs on there?
Yep. Do it for the culture, man.
Thielen? I didn't want to say Thielen because I didn't see.
Adam Thielen had, I think it was 113 one year.
See, I don't even pay attention to stats like this, bro. So, I mean, I wouldn't assume when you say Adam Thielen, I think he's more around the 80, 85 catch kind of guy.
He seems like it. That's what I would have figured, too. When I saw that,
But, I mean,
saw his name on that list, I was like, shit. Good for you.
See, and when you watch these games, I'm not paying attention to stats every week or season stats. I couldn't tell you stats off the top of my head. I just go by what the eye test, like what I'm seeing out in the field.
Yeah, I hear you. I do too, for the most part. Stats just help back up my argument.
Right, yeah. When you want to go into something, yeah, you got to look up the stats because when you're watching a game, you know what you're seeing, but I just can't tell you how many catches or yards he had at the end of the game unless I look it up.
Yeah. Thankfully, y'all showing me every 5 minutes, or else I'd have no clue. You want to go ahead and wrap?
I'm gonna have to hit you with some Ravens trivia sometime.
You want some trivia next time? Go ahead. That was only one Vikings question, so
yeah,
that's fine though. You want to go ahead and close us out?
No, I mean, hey, we got another episode. Well, we got 2 episodes coming next week for the first week of the season.
Yeah, man. The plan is to get you episode Monday, or record Monday, Tuesday. Get you the first episode before the Thursday night game.
Yeah. So, and then, I mean, I'm not sure what to really say here. Just
for sure, man. The plan is, 2 episodes a week from here on out. They're not going to be the long 2-hour episodes we've been doing over the off season. They'll be more along the lines of this episode, probably even a little shorter. One, we'll be previewing, the Thursday night game and all the Sunday games, and one we'll recap the weekend games. Is that what we're planning on doing? Yep. So we'll have that on the way to you guys pretty soon here. You can find that on the YouTube channel. Man, other than that, we're just excited for this season, man. We appreciate y'all tuning in. A lot of different setups, a lot of different trial and error things have gone on, but I think we got this set squaring away. And season week 1's right around the corner. We ready to go.
Yeah, we should go ahead and why don't you comment your favorite team and your record prediction for the season, and let us know what you think. It's gonna be a fun ride, though. I think it's gonna be a high-powered season with a lot of these offenses. So yeah, we appreciate you guys watching and tuning in each week. A lot more to come. It's going to be a long season, so let's get ready for some fun here.
Yes, sir. Like my guy said, go ahead and comment your favorite team, record predictions, breakout players, anything like that. Next week, what we got for y'all, like we said, we're going to preview that Thursday night game, Rams versus the Bills. I think the Rams are going to go ahead and get their Super Bowl ring and have their ceremony before the game. Our episode, though, we're going to touch on that. We're going to touch on some awards we have going on. So we definitely want your guys' opinion on that, too. Who you think is going to get MVP, Offensive Rookie of the Year, Defensive Player of the Year, all that good stuff. So we're looking forward to hearing from some of y'all for sure. Like my guy said, we appreciate y'all. We out of here. And until next time, my G.
All right, bro.